Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast that you know as the Giggle Economy. My name is David Moscor. I'm here with our wonderful guest, Jaren George. How are you?
Yo, I am good. I am wonderful. I am warm. That's important.
It
So
is
yeah.
important. Look at
How are
that.
you, David?
I'm doing good. Look at that professional Joe Rogan type setup over there.
Yo, stop it, man. I do this little joke where like every time I go on like a virtual show nowadays, I'll go like I'm Jaren George, aka and I heard it before, and I'm gonna let everyone know I'm not Spike Lee's son trying to do a podcast here. Okay, all right.
What would that podcast be called if there
Yeah,
was a
thank you.
podcast?
I was hoping you would ask. Actually, I don't know what to call it, but if I was to have a podcast, like if I was Spike Lee's son, I would talk about basketball, and I'll be like an underground Lakers fan. I would not tell my dad I'm a Knicks fan, and he finds out one day. He got bandwagons. I don't know. Like he got bandwagons. I don't know.
It is pretty nuts that like Spike Lee doesn't talk anything about the Nets. Like it's insane that he's like, nope, not a Nets fan.
It has
Knicks
that New
forever.
Jersey funk. Yeah, the New Jersey funk is still on them still, you know? So.
Would that podcast be called Do the Pod Thing?
Yo, yeah, I like that one. Yeah, definitely. Do the pod thing.
Or would it be the I'm trying to think of another one. He got cast. How about that one?
Yeah. It's always the he got game title. I'm always trying to figure out something. I have like a Spike Lee related project is like he got something. I don't know. He got gardening going.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, you could go with the lesser known Spike Lee ones. You can go Shy Cast, but no one's doing or Pod Rack. No one's doing that one. Let's see, what's another one? What's the most recent one that came out on Netflix?
Oh shit. No, was it a Black Klansman or something like that? No, like I thought it was that, right? No, he was like the producer.
I mean, in a very specific circle, Black Podcaster could be a really good podcast title.
Oh yeah, but you gotta fit in the 3Ks somehow. You know, you gotta.
You could stick in. You can figure out a way to put the podcast in there, 3K wise.
Yeah, like Outcast podcast. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
There you go. You got it. This is the kind of banter we're going to do at the beginning of an episode. Mm-hmm. This is what's good.
Some sweet Spike Lee banter, yeah.
Right. So by the way, you've been in every episode right here. This is a picture of you. I don't know if you can see it. Let me take it down. Let me take it down real quick. Let me grab it.
Come on, give me some flashbacks.
This is from Thanksgiving. Let me see if I can. There we go.
Oh no! Yes! No!
Yeah.
Oh yeah! Oh no! Yes! Wait! Let me see it again really quick because there's many Thanksgivings or a couple.
Yeah, at least like 4 or 5.
Oh my god! Okay, I remember that one.
Yeah,
I remember that one. Yeah, that one was.
But
fire.
you've been hanging out right here. But I'll hang you back up in a minute. But you've been with me since I began this podcast. So thank you for finally being in audio form instead of just visual form since I've started this thing.
You're welcome. Hey, circle of life, baby. It's a circle right now.
I know we talked about Spike Lee, but you're actually from New York. Let people know a little bit about you before we start talking about stuff.
Oh, you didn't hear this accent?
I know, but let the people know. They need to know about you. So let them know how long you've been doing comedy. Let them know where you're from. Let me know a little background. Like pretend this is the interview process of the Giggle Economy. We just need to know a little bit more. Thanks for coming in today, George. Jaren George, Mr. George. You like Mr. George or do you like Jaren? What do you like in an interview? Do you like that first name basis? Or do you like when they go, Mr. George? Or you like go, hey, Jaren, grab a water. Come sit down. Let's go talk about your resume. What do you like?
Hey, Jaren would be preferred.
Okay.
Just rolls off the tongue.
Perfect.
And I'm a go-getter, and I just want to make sure, you call me that. I'll go get, the coffee. I'll get everything that you need. Yes, sir.
Well, tell us about yourself. We're here. We're here at the Giggle Economy. We're a pretty relaxed environment, so we want to know about you. So let our if you were to work here, let people know who you are.
Oh yes, sir. Hold on. No, we're having an interview just like this. I gotta get the water. Hold on. Okay. Hey, hi. No, just kidding. All right. Hey, I'm Jaren George. Just a skinny black boy from Brooklyn, New York. From my whole, I'm 34 years old. Favorite color is blue. From Bushwick, Brooklyn, to be more exact. I've been living out here in Portland for, I want to say, yeah, 7 years. It's
Yeah,
been.
congrats.
Oh, dude, actually, in the next 2 days, it's gonna be my comedy anniversary. Actually, holy shit!
Congratulations.
Thank you. 7 years. All right.
I think that's the time that's how long I lived in Portland. I think I lived 7 years in Portland before I moved to Austin. So it's a good amount of time. You feel like, okay, I feel like I'm no longer a stranger here. This is my city now. We were just talking about me and my friends were just talking about, when do you become part of the city that you live in if you're not a native born person of that place? Like right now, like I'm a Texan. I'm an Austinite. I have to accept that. I pay taxes and I pay income in Texas. So I'm a Texan and specifically an Austinite. So you are a Portlander and you're also an Oregonian. When do you feel like when that really cements living there? What year do you cross the threshold of no longer a newbie?
It's not the year. I would say it's the experience for me. And like when you were telling me about Austin, I had some questions for you when you were just like, yeah, I'm an Austin. Was it Austinian now? That's what it's called?
Well, I think some people say Austonian, but I think it's Austinite. Austinite.
Okay.
I think that's what the right thing. But also the bigger, heavier one, the one that gets put on the sleeve of the cutoff T-shirt. I'm also a Texan now, so that's a big one.
Right.
You know, you're Oregonian or Oregon, if people don't know how to say, which is like that's the thing. When you live there, you're like, people say Oregon, but it's not.
Right, exactly. So here's the thing. Like for me, I'm just like, is this my city now? And I'm driving. I'm just like, well, I'm not using the GPS. I'm not using it anymore. I'm getting home to work at home. It took me 2 days. I'm not using that GPS anymore, baby. Well, I'm going to the restaurant. I know where to go. I know where to go to. I know where to go. How come Panda Express is the only one that came to mind? Yeah, I know where to go to Panda Express.
Because that's a little bit of indicative of the kind of city you live in. Not to say anything bad about Portland. I love Portland, but you know what? Panda Express sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about Portland. Oh, Voodoo Donuts. I know Voodoo Donuts.
We have a Voodoo Donuts here in downtown Austin, so technically, thank you. They're very expensive compared to other donuts, but it's fine.
Hey, I love how these cities pass on these restaurants. Like we have an In-N-Out, it was in Salem, so we just like to California, just like thank you, I guess.
I know we have an In-N-Out burger in Austin too, and it's not even the most popular burger joint in Austin. It's like,
wow.
It's like it's really good, but there's like we're also the home of like barbecue. Like we're home of live music and barbecue. So In-N-Out is impressive, but it's not the most impressive burger in the city of Austin. I don't want to say what is, but Whataburger's here. People like Whataburger. People like, there's a new chain called P. Terry's. That's very popular. It's kind of reminds me of that place. Oh, what is it? It's on Sandy or Northeast. It's
Killer Burger?
What?
Is it Killer Burger?
It's not Killer Burger, but it's a drive-through burger place, and it's it's in Southeast, and it has a long line. I can't remember what it is, but it's like they have bright yellow and red. They have like clown. They have bright
super deluxe.
I think it's super deluxe. Maybe it's super deluxe.
Yeah, that's in my neighborhood too.
Yeah,
that's my go-to.
So like that's what P. Terry's is here in Austin. That's what that is. Okay. By the way, none of these are sponsors. These are just getting free advertisement all over the place, because you know what comedians are? We're nothing if just giving out things that we shouldn't.
Hey,
so so GPS, I like that idea of when you could be a good Uber driver or Lyft driver depending on your standards. That's when you own a city.
if you have a friend who's visiting town, you know, you just want to show off, like that's the best. You know, like I had a friend one time who came and I'm just like, let me just pull over for a second. Hold on, let me see. I know this nice Thai food place. Are we in Northeast or Southeast? It was so embarrassing. So definitely you gotta get that GPS going.
I always like when it's a weird thing that you'd only know if you lived in the city. Like
Mhm.
if I was just coming to visit Portland and I had never been before, and I was like, "Hey, Jaren, I'm coming to your house. I want to meet you at Super Deluxe Burger, but it says take a left on Couch Street. Is that okay?"
Oh
And
no.
you're like, "No, no, 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 because it's not Couch Street. What is it?"
Yeah, it's Coach Street.
But it is spelled couch.
As couch, yeah, yeah. Hey, that's another thing I had to get used to. And you know, the funny thing is like when they correct you here, it's so passive aggressive, and you can even hear it through the phone. I was paying my gas bill one time, and I was on the phone with her, and she was like, "Tell me your address," and I was like, "Oh yeah, yeah, sure. It's 22 Willamette Street," and she was just like. And I was like, "Oh, what's so funny?" Go like, "Oh, it's a little inside joke we have here. You said Willamette, it's Willamette,
Mhm.
okay?" I was just like, "Oh, okay." Don't know if this was an inside joke. I just thought that's how it's spelled, just how it's worded out. And then she's like, "Oh no, 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 sir, no, no, not at all." I was like, "All right." It's like a passive aggressive NPR station, I swear. That's how
Every
she's.
every town has like a weird handshake agreement
Uh,
that you don't know what you're doing at a certain point, but you're like, do you live here or do you not? What do you pay?
mm,
Do you pay the weird taxes that you have in our city or not? Like that kind of thing.
oh yeah.
And don't feel bad about it. It's however, they're like that is passive aggressive. Like, yeah, you kind of are. Are you illiterate? And they're like, no, I just didn't grow up here.
No.
I'm
Yeah, I don't
from
have.
pronounce streets in Bushwick and tell me if I'm wrong. That kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
look, we've been. This is often a tangent, but I love it. I love tangents. So this might make it to the final cut, but who knows, man? This is a
That's how
great.
you make a podcast.
That's how
Yeah.
you do it. You just talk and you see where it goes. Uh, Tell me a little bit. We were getting back to the interview. If this was an interview, I'd be a bad manager. I'd be a bad hiring supervisor. I'm like, I'm just enjoying this time. Get another water. Let's relax. Tell me about you. What do you think makes a good employee? What do you think that happens?
Oh, I'm happy that I'm just happy that you said like how we're bonding. This is what I want in an interview. Like
Yeah.
we're bonding. Ice broke. Now I get to loosen up. So, what I let's see. What was the question again?
Well, okay. I'm gonna take some points off because you weren't. Let me hold on. Let me just
I didn't
pull
know
it
there
out.
was a score. Shit. Okay.
Let me go ahead and write that down.
All right. Gotta get
Does
back those
not
5 points.
does not focus on important details. Okay, there we go. No, I just said what in your definition of a good employee, what is that? What is a good employee to Jaren George?
Mhm. Okay, yeah. To me, like, and I know you didn't ask me like my other jobs and stuff like that, but like,
We're just
I
getting
think I
into it.
learned.
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked like mad like summers working at a summer camp. Like I was a counselor, and then I moved up to middle management, and then I became like the leadership team. I was like the assistant director. But first, like when I was a counselor, there's like a perfect job to have like in the summer to get you ready for a real job, because like you have to multitask. I feel like multitask is something like important. You got to like make sure you got your eyes on the ball, like you're answering those emails, you're getting back to other people, you typing while you're on the phone, and you got to do all that stuff. So multitasking is really important, and how you prioritize yourself too. So if important things come up, you know how to like put a stop to one thing and then get another thing ready. And lastly, I feel like and it's because I do a lot of training about team development. I think teamwork is really important, because we all go through different phases as anyone, like kids or adults. We learn how to work together, and it's like these 5 phases you go through.
What are those 5 phases? Now that you brought up those 5 phases.
Thank you for asking. Well, it is the first one. It is forming. So forming is like like how we talk about like breaking the ice. So it's like, let's say we're both co-workers, David, right? Like you're like, oh, hi, I'm David. You're like, oh yeah, I'm Jaren. You're like, oh, cool. So like we're forming, we're learning like that we're co-workers and everything. Next thing is norming. So norming, we know our responsibilities. We know what we gotta be doing. We signed the contract, so all of that. Now that's really important because the next one is storming. Now storming happens every time, like small or big. It could be something big where just like, I just erased all the company's information, like we just lost all the data, or it's just like, oh man, sorry, I was 2 minutes late to this meeting, so there's like storming. And what happens is we test boundaries a lot, right? Because we're humans and we all have emotions. So from storming, that's when we have those problems. And then the next stage, we have to figure out a way to solve those kind of storms to go into performing. That's the next stage. Performing, we learn from our mistakes, we learn how to fix it, and we still go through the norming part, but there's that storming and learning part that we just did, and that goes to performing. Last one is transforming, and that's just either you got fired, you got promoted, or I don't know, you being rehired for something else, things like that. But you gain experience. So those are the 5 phases, basically.
I'm ready to sign up for the course. Like, where's the literature, man? I'm ready.
Hey, you saw how animated I get, right? I was excited. I was like, oh man, he's asking me, don't bring out my index cards, But I used to do a lot of team building activities, especially like at camps. So
yeah.
They're like interested in learning. Can you believe just hearing me talk like the whole time? You just have like 80 counselors in one room, and you're just like, this black man is talking still. Oh my god.
No, I think if I was to give you, have you ever been given a nickname, like a middle name or like a nickname ever time, like any time in your life?
I mean, people just they call me Jay. J Bear. That's one that they call me, J Bear. I don't know how that happens, but yeah.
I don't know. But I like J Bear because it means like cuddly, because it's not like scary. Like,
I'm not cuddly. I'm cold all the time. That's what I don't understand. Like, But
maybe I would give you like, I would call you Jaren Synergy George, because you got this like you got this energy that we're all like, once you open it up, we're all feeling that energy. We're all feeling good. I felt that Tony Robbins level energy when you started talking. And you're like, tell me about we're ing and all over the place. There's the levels. There's Stormin and Norman, and let's do this,
Yeah, David, I'm trying to get you from here. I'm trying to get you up to here, So yeah, I know. It is what it is.
That's why you're on the podcast. So, like, where you said you started off, was that your very first job? Was being at a camp? Like very first, the first thing you got paid money for.
Paid money. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, that's the first job I got. It's crazy how I got it though, but
I'm here for that story. Let us know.
Oh, sure. So it was a Sunday. Well, I did applied. I remember I was just like I was in my dorm. I was in Utica, New York. I was in this school, SUNY IT, State University of New York Institute of Technology. And there's not much there, but I was just like, man, I got to do something in the summer. I don't want to go back to New York and not do anything, And my mom's there, which is great. But
yeah.
And so like I remember going to camp when I was a kid and stuff, and a lot of times I had like flashbacks, like, oh man, that was the first place I learned how to eat French toast. I like how I said I learned, but that's how I like French toast and learn how to eat French toast.
I have no idea. Like, I don't know if that's the first time you've ever seen like powdered sugar or anything. Like, I don't make any assumptions about this journey.
Yo, I don't know about the sugar bread combination, okay? All right, I had questions about it, but you know what? I did like pancakes and waffles, so I was just like, all right. So like, things like that, those kind of memories. Hiking in the Bear Mountains, woo! All of that. So like, I remember like, having cool counselors. I had a counselor who always played like Lauryn Hill in the morning, which is cool. And he's from Australia. I don't understand, but we roll with it. But I want to be, so like, I thought that was kind of cool, and I thought it was kind of inspiring. And me didn't grow up without a dad and everything like that. So I thought like, hey, let me, that gift that I got when I was a kid, let me pass that gift on to the next generation, right?
Yeah.
Wisdom. That's the gift, wisdom.
So for you, your work life started by being inspired and kind of wanting to transfer some of that inspiration to other people, which is a great way to start. Because a lot of time it's just like you got to get told that you have to do a job. You're like, hey, you need money. At some point, you need this thing called money.
Yeah.
You need to learn a skill, and then people will give you money. And for you, you have a more altruistic viewpoint on it, and you're like, I have something called bonding and friendships and memories and leadership and camaraderie, and I want to share that because I think that formed who I was, because I didn't have a parental figure as a father, and you wanted to pass on like foundational aspects of someone. That's how you looked in your first job. Like you're like, I want to help these kids that come to this camp. That's how I want to do it. You see, that's who you are. That's why I like you. You want to be like, you've always wanted to be inspiring from the get. You've wanted to like help people. And I think that shows in your comedy, and it shows already in your work life experience.
Oh man, I feel like we just wrapped this up just now.
No, this is just the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg. This is just how good a person you've always been and that I've known. And now people in the podcast are going to know who you are.
Oh man, I feel so seen. Yeah, man, but yeah, that job. So yeah, going back to it. I like the idea, like to be, be a camp counselor. And I remember watching the movie, was it Wet Hot American Summer?
Yeah.
And I just thought it was like really cool, and it was like really interesting to try it out. So there was like this ACA camp website that I guess I applied to. So like a lot of camps will see my application and just like, oh man, a minority who's trying to sign up to be a counselor. Yes, please, let's get him. So the next day, damn, like not even the next day, probably like the next few hours, I just been getting like these emails, and a lot of them was just like, hey applicants, I noticed that you're interested in this. Well, at our camp, we do this and this. We think you're a good fit. Like all robotic, but I see the ones where they respond to me, man. They were just like, hey, Jaren, that's cool that you like skateboarding. That's cool you like working on computers, web designing, all of that. Yeah, we want to talk with you. It was like really persuasive. So I was just like, all right. So I applied to some. Now, when I was in college, we partied a lot. It was a fun night I had. Had 8 shots of tequila one night.
Damn.
Yeah,
Damn.
I don't know. Dude, I don't know how I survived. A little fact about me, and David, I'm not sure if you know this, but I haven't threw up since I was 8 years old.
That's a pretty impressive record for being a 33-year-old man.
34.
34. Yeah. So from 8, that's a pretty good. Like I can't say that the last time I threw up was 8. It's definitely been like within 5 years or 6 years for me.
I'm a fucking horse.
I don't know, but that's very impressive. I also like. Were you given these, or was it like a challenge that you were presented, or were you like, this is just what's going to happen?
I don't remember anymore, man. It was, there was a combination of weed. There was Super Smash Brothers involved. I think I had like 2 boxes of Hot Pockets on each foot. Yeah, I don't remember that much that night. That's much as I remember. But anyways, I was hung the fuck over, and for some weird reason, when I woke up at 1 p.m. on Sunday, I got that phone call, and I'm getting out of bed. There's like Chips Ahoy cookies and Mountain Dew like unopened all over my bed. Turns out I went to Walmart in the middle of the night, and I did not remember all of that. So anyways, there's a lot I had to like recollect. The reason that I'm saying all this is because I'm waking up because of the phone call at 1 p.m. on a Sunday, right? And it was this camp that I got back to because I was just like, yeah, they're talking to me like they know me. This is great. So I forgot about that interview, and she called and she was just, hey, I'm Jessica. I'm the director of at Camp Echo. Is this Jaren? And I'm just like, yeah. I sound out of it, man. Like it was bad. And yeah, she's like asking me all these questions and like where I'm from, like my interests and all this. And then it got really really into this interview where situational questions. There's this one I answered, and I think I did a great job, especially the condition I was in, talking about what would you do if you're the only counselor and you're in a cabin with 10 campers and there was a small fire that happened? What would you do in that situation? I was just like, well, first I'll tell everyone to calm down, and I'll calmly get everyone to exit out of the available emergency exits. Like it's a fucking plane. And I'm just like, and I feel there's always a small fire extinguisher due to the camp's policy that I would use just in case, as depending how small this fire is, but making sure everyone's out, and I'll administer the fire extinguisher.
And if they would have caught you at like, I don't know, like 9 p.m. the Saturday before, you would have been like, I don't know, shot. Like, thank goodness.
Yeah.
They caught you when the equilibrium of the alcohol had already passed through your system, and you woke up in the escape room that was your dorm room, or like whatever it was. Like, oh
yeah,
man,
they're gonna hear me go like, "Hey, give me another Keystone." Yeah, what were you saying? What was the question? yeah, we drank a lot of Keystones. Those are some sad times.
You got to do it. You know, it's probably better the fact that you were mostly consuming water tinted beer at that time, because you know what? It's fine. You got to learn. You got to learn your tolerance. You got to figure it out. So you got hired from that job.
Well, the funny thing is like there was a pause, and I was just like, "Oh, what the fuck you talking about, Jaren? What the fuck you talking?" And then she just like, "All right, well, Jaren, we're thinking about starting you at 1800, and you probably will put you in a cabin. I guess 7th grade would work. Would that work with you?" And I was just like, "Damn, all right." I'm like, "Yeah, that would work. I appreciate that."
They let you know base pay right off the bat. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy. It was just like, yo, we need to get people. It's May. We need to get people. And they quickly send that paperwork. That's how. Yeah, there's always a need for like I guess counselors, like male counselors, I guess. So, anyways, I got the job, and it was just it was a cool like first year experience. But yeah, should I go into like how that first year job was? Because
how about this? I like where we're going. We've got a lot of the flavor of who you are already.
Yeah.
Tell me about a day that really challenged you as that job role that you had. Like, so she gave you that scenario. Hey, what would you do if a fire happened? Tell me a day that you were challenged as a camp counselor that really tested who you were, that you did not expect.
Yeah, one thing I didn't expect. I didn't know kids had autism or anything like that.
Very, very surprising answer. I'm going to say that right now. Very.
What's ADD? What do I gotta know?
But you know what? I know probably you had to do some Googling real quick, and just had to do some synergistic asking. Hey, I like the idea of a young Jaren going to the other camp counselors and going, what is autism? And then figuring it out and being the compassionate person that you are. And then making it work for you. But tell me more about that. Like, what do you mean? Like, how did that come up? Like, were you trying to get everyone like focused on like a sing circle, or what? Why was that a concern?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, and I mean, I've been a counselor for like 5 summers as a regular counselor, but like
by this point,
I mean, like 2000, it was 2007. That was my first year as a camp counselor, and it seems the more and more summers I worked, they put me with the quirky kids, and I think I learned from that first year is that like I had one who, we were talking about like autism. Yeah, there was one like man, he was all over the place at times where it's just like he doesn't want to do like the activities. There's times like he would just like walk away from the group, or I guess a runaway, I guess. And
I like how you did like air quotes, run away.
He has nowhere to go. Like, where are you gonna go? You're in the middle of upstate New York, so yeah, like run away. Yeah, you're just gonna go in a corner and we have to go find you, and I have to like,
you don't know, I'm gonna go to the Catskills. You don't know where I'm gonna go.
All right, David, just come. dude, we're gonna have free play soon. Just come back.
Nope. I'm going to Yonkers now. Sorry, or whatever.
David,
wherever.
Yeah, I'm like, where are you gonna get a bus? Yeah, I'm just like trying to understand your logic. But that's the thing. I have like a lot of patience. I learned like to have a lot of patience, and a lot of times like I would get hard on myself. I'm just like, how do I reach these kids? What am I doing? I'm reading the profiles. They give you like the campers profiles, like before the summer. And I remember these blue sheets and these parents, and I hate to say it, but I hate to say that this used to be a Jewish camp, but like it's mostly like kids from like Long Island and stuff. So like these parents, there's like full like 3 pages. There's one parent, she attached like 3 of her own pages on the template that we give her, like a form, and she immediately had like 3 other things she had to say about her kid.
Well, Jewish mothers are very worried. I've dated Jewish women. I've had Jewish friends, and Jewish mothers, they love their kids so much, and no one's ever going to take care of their child as well as they could. So they probably have a lot of fine tuning that you need to do, and you need to carry on. For example, what were you saying? 3 or 4 pages? Like, what was something you can remember?
Dude, I remember like a doctor's note where like I understand like if they if the parents are going through a divorce, they talk about like so like they're going through these sessions. I'm seeing this kid, and like so they give me like recommendations. The doctor would recommend me like if I don't know, if Johnny doesn't want to do like activity, change the subject, talk about his favorite things. He likes to talk about Legos. I'm just like, oh, okay. I won't talk about I won't talk about arts and crafts. We'll just talk about Legos. Yeah, like so I gotta have like that patience, and I can't. Here's the thing too. I feel like with kids, and you gotta be proactive about it, where like just like adults, we don't want to hear like bad news like right off the get-go, or like want to be like told what to do. You got to kind of like ease into it.
There's that bedside manner kind of thing.
Yeah, and they could tell like like when you fake it like you're reading a scripture, or like like you read like a textbook like how to take care of kids, or just like, hey Johnny, I noticed you playing this. Wouldn't it be fun if you played this? Like like you gotta you just gotta like like you just like walk over and go like, oh man, that's a cool dirt castle you're making there, man.
Did you ever have those stereotypical moments where they're like, hey, can we talk? And then flipped a chair backwards so you can sit into it backwards. You're like, can we, you want to rap about it? Like that kind, you never had those moments, right?
David, I sat on the corners of tables, share corners of tables myself, sir. Yes, I've done that. Like, yeah, let's break it down here.
That's the second I was waiting for someone to say break it down, and I'm glad you did.
Yeah. And the funny thing is like I always and I guess this is one technique I always do this, where like you got to be like eye level with the kids. So like it's just like if you're talking to them, you can't just like talk down to them like, hey, talk to me, like so you gotta like go to their level like, hey man, what's up, like so it's just things like that. I think what counselors always forget, like it's so easy for them to like like you can like yell at a kid, or you can tell them what to do and stuff like that, but I feel like your body language, just even me using like hand gestures, I think that's really important, things like that, because they can tell they can tell like if you're you're being fake, or you're just like, oh, you just tell me what to do kind of thing.
Well, yeah. I think that goes back to who you are as a person. I think people already are seeing that warm glow that I know that you have, and that sweetness that you have. So you worked there for 5 summers altogether?
Oh no! Here's where it gets a bit tricky. 5 summers as a regular cabin counselor, 2 summers as a unit director. So it was like middle management, and then there was 3 other summers, but it was here in Portland. There's a camp outside of Portland I was an assistant director for.
You hit 10 years working at camp?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude.
You didn't get you got paid. I was gonna say summers. You got paid more and more. You didn't get paid that $1,800.
I get my money.
Okay. I just want to make sure that they didn't just transfer over and roll over that pay.
No, on the 5th year, they as a cabin counselor, they capped me at $2,500. Like, yo, we can't we gotta promote this guy.
There you go.
And but here's the thing, like with every job, I feel like if you feel like you're doing a great job and you feel like you're not getting respected more, I started sensing that I think after my third year, because I was just like, man, and I think before that third year, the camp director found me like outside. I was away from the staff evening activity or so. Oh my God. That night they had a stand-up comedian, the camp owner hired to entertain the staff.
And that's
what a job!
And was that the first time you had seen comedy before, like like in the flesh, not on TV?
In the flesh, dude, at a camp. They've got dining hall tables put together. Boom, you got a stage, and
perfect environment for comedy.
Dude, for the hour, for at least a half an hour to 40 minutes, it's just him telling camp stories. And that's when I realized I could be a comedian. Not just kidding. It was just that easy for that dude. I mean, I was just like, man. But now when I think back on it, I was just like, man, I could do that. I could do that gig. That's give me a tour. I'll tour Pennsylvania and upstate New York camps.
No, I'm just saying that's the way most comedians start. I don't know if you know that. We are two of a kind. My way that I started comedy, I went to a comedy club. They sat me in the front row. The comedian made fun of me and what I was wearing at the time. I was wearing a bright yellow shirt, and he kept calling me a bumblebee. And I'm not going to use his terminology, but I was wearing a bright yellow shirt. He goes, "You're a bumblebee who likes other boy bumblebees." But I'm not gonna say what he said. But he was, and I go, "This sucks. I can do better than this. How much is this guy getting paid? I want to do this because that's a dumb joke and he's hurting my feelings. And I want to do comedy that's better than this stupid joke." And that's how we do it. But I'm like, I can't even imagine campfire comedy. But that dude did it. That I assume a guy, but it could be a girl. But I'm saying, like, I stories is a safe. It's a corporate gig. You got to go there, do an hour and a half. You got to drive out there. Got to do stories. Because what are they going to do? Hey, what is that comic going to relate to him? Hey, who knows how to tie their shoes? What do you do? How do you do crowd work? Or how are you you can't riff and you can't roast the crowd because they're all sensitive kids. So he's got to just do stories. I get it.
Yeah, man. And he made it work really well, man. I think I felt everyone was just like, oh man, comedy at camp, what's happening? And it's just staff only. So he did try out some material that kind of try to test the boundaries, especially like rising the camp director, or just oh wow, I see some we got some minority staff. That's good. He said minority staff. Wow, I like your gym, camp director. I forgot the camp director at that time. I think it was Jeff. Yeah, Jeff. I like what you're doing. Diversity. All right. This guy, I love his observational humor he got going. So yeah, he entertained us, but at the same time, I was not enjoying the comedy that much, David, because like I was saying, I was sad. That I was still a camp counselor, and David, this is how good I was. And I remember I told you about about the 5 phases of team development and all that.
Yes.
And I know about positive behavior strategies. I done research because I love my job so much. After my second year, I was just like, oh man, this is easy. I mean, these kids, this is easy. Who can't do this? You just gotta listen to them. You just gotta listen to them, David. I don't know. I felt like it was, like you were saying, it was fulfilling. Me, I was I wanted to work on computers, but I did not find that fulfilling anymore. There was a lot of stuff that stopped me from, pursuing that career. So with this one, I'm studying. I'm just oh, this is how you got to do it. I learned from my mistakes. So I felt I was ready, but they didn't give me the promotion until my 5th year. So the thing is on that 3rd year, I gave them packets, how to teach the counselors how to do a good job. And guess what? They took those packets, dude. Didn't give me a promotion. I was not even a director. They took those packets, made a whole training semesters out of it, or sessions out of it, and they taught it back to me, man. They taught it back to me.
That is very disappointing.
Dude,
I feel like you are an empath. I feel like a good counselor will take the feelings of the crowd and kind of like try to like, it's kind of like I'm going to use an analogy, and I hope it's okay that I use this. Kind of like keeping a campfire going. Now when you first start a fire, you have to feed it. You have to feed the fire. You have to give it oxygen and wood and kindling, and it's very hard to start. But once you get it going, it's good. And then you just can't lay around on your laurels. You got to keep feeding that fire a little bit, right? So and that's what you were doing, but you weren't the fire was getting not paid and not promoted. The fire was just getting underappreciated. Until the fire did a class where it got taught about flint and matches,
Yes, that's the thing. Yes, let them know. That's what I did. I thought I let them know with the job I was doing. And the thing is, he gave me that excuse because Jaren, you're so good. Like, we don't want to lose you. Yeah, I mean, we put you with the quirky because you know how to handle, you know what to do and stuff, your patience and stuff. And he's like building me up. And you know what? It worked. it worked. And he did let me know I was like the highest paid counselor there. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. All right.
So, but this is something I will say about you. That's a good lesson because I think we're going to learn about this because you said you did eventually get paid more. I think that's a good lesson work-wise to focus on that. Between positive reinforcement, and that's good. Having positive reinforcement at your job is a good thing and valuable thing. But also, you didn't know that you had leverage. You were very valuable as a worker because you went the extra mile. You were a great counselor. You were doing above and beyond. And instead of them, so here's your effort. Your effort's going up. And here's where they wanted to pay you. And they go, hey, let me match your effort to go, you're also very great. And they just all they did was compliment you. And you took the bait instead of going, I appreciate the compliments, but you also need to pay me.
Oh, but here's the thing though. Here's the thing. What I like about that camp too is like, and what I learned about camp, this is the place where you start off to get like responsibilities. This is where you start off to get like that big time job, and I read, different articles about this, about like how camp jobs, like that's what employers look for if you worked at camp. And like I said about the multitasking, what I did not see or I did not realize, and I was looking back on that night when he talked to me, is that they trust me, they offer that. And now I learned this too when I was an assistant camp director. It's not that I felt used. It's just that they trusted me enough where even in the preseason, before the kids arrived and stuff like that, I had a little I guess they didn't show like favoritism towards me, but they know that they trust me. So I'm like I'm at the camp director's house, like where we're doing like the planning and stuff. I get to hang out, watch their cable TV. Not a lot of counselors get a chance to do that. I was the one who get to drive one of the luggage trucks to New Jersey and skip training. Yo, that was the best because if you've been, if you're a returning counselor, there's a lot of sessions you could miss, and you're helping out with the preseason stuff. So they trust me a lot of cool things. And driving that truck, we got dinner like before we got to New Jersey. We had to go to New Jersey to pick up the luggage from the parents, and then we had to drive back. And we got food. We got free food. So things like that.
I'm telling you, I had no idea where this would go when we first started. But you are teaching me about leverage. You're teaching me about synergy. You're teaching me now about fringe benefits, about how those little things that you get in a job, it may not be camp, but if like my work bought me, hey, you know what, David, let's go talk about your role here. And then they go, let's go do that at a restaurant. They buy my lunch at work. That will make me work harder for the next 3 months. Just a free meal. Than if they just yell at me. Then I go,
right.
The more yelling that happens at me, I'm always like, well, fuck this job. I hate this job. But if you buy me, I don't know, a basket of appetizers and jalapeno poppers. I'm like, I'm going to work so hard for you because those cream cheese jalapeno poppers were delicious. I'm
Yeah,
learning so much about like
hey,
the framework of work from just all your camp stories.
yeah, man. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I think they sense it too that I felt underappreciated, and I think that's why he went to talk to me that time. But like in my head now, and now that I was a person who was part of that leadership team. I was, you know, as assistant camp director. I look back on that, because a lot of decisions I had to make, I start realizing, oh, there's ways you can still appreciate your employees or, you know, those counselors, and even if you're not able to like promote them, or the pay they felt is not like the greatest. Again, that positive reinforcement, those little like rewards that you can give them, those are some things that last a long time. You know
Yeah.
that, yeah, it's really important. So, yeah,
Um, I think that's amazing. And then the fact that you've did it for 10 years showed that for you, doing it wasn't just a paycheck. Doing it for you was also very rewarding. And you
yeah,
got rewarded in compensation, which is money, but also you got rewarded by being challenged at every new
woo,
level of them
yeah, the
moving you
challenge,
up. But you
yeah,
liked it enough to come back. You did it for 10 years. I
yeah,
worked at a movie theater, and I only did that for a year and a half because it was like
mm,
I hit my okay, I get it. I've been challenged enough. I don't want to work here anymore. I
mm,
understand popcorn and soda pop and cleaning out stuff. I don't want to do this anymore. But you had that good job where it just kept rewarding you. And I think that's a very good lesson for people to have about jobs, that it doesn't just have to be a paycheck. It can also be fulfilling. Like that's basically, before you did comedy, that's basically a mini career. That's a career.
yeah,
That's the difference between a job and a career, is that you did this thing that you loved for 10 years and you were good at it. Very good at it,
yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, I mean, and I know we say like as in 10 years, and I used to during the off season I was their website administrator, so like I was helping them with their website for probably like I think it was just 1 year I was, but
You got
what I'm
paid
trying to
extra
say
for
is
that, right?
yeah, yes, I did. Yes.
Good.
They actually like, yeah, we definitely want to compensate you because like all the work I was doing. But the thing is too, is just like I haven't really thought of this as a career. Like I said, it was like a summer, you know, a summer job. But like the more you know, again, I was promoted to like the unit director and stuff. And I just thought like I don't know, you know, being a teacher, that you know, I had some good teachers like in the past. I know I can't be a counselor forever, or I can't, you know, be a unit director. I always want to be like a camp director as well. I had a dream to, and I always see like some of the ads, or there's sometimes you see like a camp that's for sale. Like they have all these facilities and everything that's there. Like there's a Girl Scout camp in like Michigan, and then they were showing like, oh yeah, we got this big this leadership building. This is where all the leadership team members go down this dirt road. There's like a dining hall. It's haunted now, you know. So like, it's like this whole thing is like for $3 million, it's all yours. I was just like, man, I'm gonna pimp that campsite. You know, I'm gonna pimp it out. I'm gonna make it. Oh, I'm gonna make a monorail around the lake. You know, things like that. I'm just like thinking all these big ideas, and you know that really, like I said, that kind of inspires me to like what I'm gonna do, like what's my future and stuff. And I still didn't even know during that time when I was unit director. I think that was like that was from 2010 to 2013. Yeah, I did not know, but like I said, it was good. It was good to feel inspired to like take this the knowledge and the skills that I've learned and apply it somewhere.
Do you feel like if you had the unlimited resources,
Oh
so you
yeah.
definitely would own your own camp? Can you know? Do you have the name for your fictional Jaren George camp in your head? Or
Damn.
do you have, if not the name, you can think
Mhm.
about that later, the
Yeah.
focus of what your camp would want to achieve? Like if kids were coming to Jaren George's camp every summer, what would be the three things, the three pillars that they could expect by coming to your camp?
One would be community building. I think that's important. You know, like camp to me, like it's like a trial run, like for to get ready for the real world. You know, it's I feel like community building is important. You have no idea where like camp was just like a high school you get to stay in, basically, especially with the
That is very
staff.
funny. That camp is like high school you get to sleep in. That is very
Yeah,
funny.
dude, it's
You get to sleep
crazy.
in the lockers. It's pretty cool. They stink, but it's great.
You know, like oh, did I make the varsity basketball team? Like, you know, like, well, it's more like, oh, did I did I make it with the cool counselors? Do I get to like go to Atlantic City with them during our night and day off? Like, you know, like, ah, damn, maybe next time, you know. But I mean, people just gossiping, man. There's people. I seen counselors, man. I David, I could write a movie. Actually, I was trying to, and I gave up. But there's like so many characters because like in this community, people, you know, like you don't know what people are going through and stuff. People are, you know, dating who and stuff like that. I had, you know, those summer flings and stuff, and people like they take those kind of grudges, and you know they like something happens on their night off, they take it with them on the next day and stuff. I seen people make, you know, the stupidest mistakes. I seen staff bullying like other staff, and I'm just like, what are you like? Who are you trying to impress?
Right.
You're an adult, you know, like, come on. So like is this those things that happen? And I seen and the camp that I worked at, which was Camp Echo, the one in upstate New York, it was a different scene. Like even from the first year, I just remember like the gossiping. I seen the cliques, you know. That's what I mean, the cliques. Just, you know, like in a cafeteria, like a school cafeteria, you know, people are hanging out. You know who's supposed to be hanging out with who and stuff, and like the exclusion and stuff. Like a lot of stuff is not needed. So definitely community building would be one. I guess the second thing is like, yeah, positivity. I feel is really important. I think a lot of times like kids they come to camp, and you know their home life would be something else, and like when they come here they don't want to be reminded of that. And I feel like a lot of times, well, it is true, like kids get like homesick, and I had to like, that's the hard part, is like bring them out of it. And or they would just keep like you ever like I'm not sure, when we talk about work, like if you call out sick, right, you had to pretend that you're sick. You had to like, you're like an actor now, you're just like, I am sick, yes, I am a sick boy, I'm the sickest person out there because I want this day off, you know. And so you gotta like hone into that. So like with kids, I feel like with homesickness, they have to like hone into, go, this is my way to leave this camp so I can go back to what's normal to me, to my comfort zone, you know. So dude, I see kids who just like, they'll make this so like throw up. Like again, I don't know how to throw up, and I would just like gag. I'm just like, stop, you're making me want to throw up, but I can't. Stop making yourself throw up, you know. So they would make themselves sick, so you got to break them out of it. So the idea, I feel like with positivity, I think a lot of camps, it starts off with the staff, and if you create like that positive atmosphere, and that is a part of community building, but you can have that kind of vibe where, you know, kids will feel more welcome, and I feel like the staff will feel more proactive to deal with those things and make it into something better.
Yeah. Can I just say, by the way, you've never made me think more about the term camp counselor than this 1 hour that we've been talking.
Oh shit.
That term is very kind of almost minimalized. It should actually be camp therapist.
You know what I'm talking about? I was gonna say, yeah, youth worker basically, but yeah.
You're a social worker in a way. You're like a summer social worker, where you're not only responsible for their eating breakfast, getting up, but you're also for their mental well-being for at least 3 months. And that's an amazingly difficult job for kids of all different walks of life. That's your responsibility. And I think that's a great one. So what's your third pillar that you would have at your camp? You had community building, positivity. What, bring it home. What's your third one? No pressure. What's your third?
This one, I think I want to label it as like self-awareness. I feel I think that's more broader. I want to say, because you brought up the idea like mental health. I think that's important. So like I think self-care is important as well. So like with self-awareness, I feel like kids, even I mean, that's how I learned about even photography. Oh my gosh, that's how I learned, like, you know, even just doing like skills like that. That's how I learned it, from camp. I remember being into the dark room and I had to develop and print my own pictures and stuff. So I'm self-aware to, I try out new things.
Also
Things
maybe
like,
about like self-awareness, but also self-discovery.
right. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's better. Yeah. It's self-discovery. Yeah. So,
But you have to be aware of what
mm,
you like and who you want to be to discover that. So I'm
yes.
just taking what you give me and
Oh yeah. No worries.
I'm turning the little caterpillar into a butterfly, but it's all you. You have the butterfly farm.
Hey,
I'm
it's a beautiful
just helping.
butterfly.
Yeah.
We're making a beautiful butterfly, baby. So,
I love it.
yeah, those are my three, definitely.
I love it. And unfortunately we've been talking for about an hour, so I think we haven't even scratched the surface.
Damn, man. Yeah.
Of anything. We've done one job, so we'll definitely have you back. If you want to, I'm excited for Jaren George Part 2 because this is just the very beginning. But tell people what you've been doing during the pandemic. I know you play Settlers of Catan online, which is also community building and also other great things that you would get in camp. But tell people like where they can find you, where they can get more Jaren George, where they can bring the camp inside their home during this horrible year that is 2020, that we're all trying to connect. We're all trying to bring positivity. We're all trying to bring community building back home and have a little bit of Jaren George in our lives. Where can people find you and be part of, like, bring you in their lives?
Oh, hell yeah. Well, as you're saying, yeah, I play Settlers of Catan. I have a show called Settled on Catan. That's what it's called. So you get it. Okay, you get it.
Is that one on Twitch?
Yeah, it's on Twitch. Now I kind of move stuff around where like I'm gonna promote it where it's on the Spec Script channel now, Spec Script, which is all in one word. So if you go to twitch.tv/Spec Script.
Yeah, we'll link everything. We'll get your links and everything like that.
Yeah, so I'm with the Spec Scripts crew now. I'm one of the producers. So every Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we do a Spec Script. It could be like a table reading, like we used to do like a live show, or it could be a new script. I did one with Dragon Ball Z and Twilight Zone, so it's always a good time. And I sometimes do an episode of Settled on Catan, where I sit down with some comics. David, if you're interested, let me know. But like
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we played.
I might definitely be one of those kids. You're gonna have to read about my mom's recommendations. Like, this kid has ADD. This kid's way too loud. This kid's got issues with. He's got to have his soda water ready to go because he likes his bubbles, that kind of thing. But I'm definitely down as long as you read my blue sheet before I start playing.
See, right there in my head, I was just like, okay, he's going to need a lot of time management. So that means I'm going to have to let him know when it's 5 more minutes to get ready for the pool. I had to make sure that I get call a response from him. And so if I tell him directions, I'll tell him to tell it back to me. See, already.
See? That's why you're good. That's why you're good at what you're doing.
Yeah. So, you can find me on, Spec Scripts and mostly there. I mean, sometimes I do virtual comedy shows. So, yeah.
So perfect. And then also I'll plug your Twitter, your Instagram, all that stuff like that. But it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Only part 1. I'm calling it part 2. If you're down, we're going to do a part 2. We've only done the beginning. So
I know, dude. I had all these flashbacks. Oh, I was just like, oh man.
Keep it down. Right. As soon as this is done, write everything down, and then we'll all pick it up as soon as for part 2. We might even do part 2 when 2021 happens. We'll do it. Woo! We'll pick it up early. We'll see what people, if you want to send me some comments about Jaren, and if you have, because don't you feel like there should be a Jaren George like inspirational Instagram where he just tells you ways to like build yourself up through. If I had you at the beginning of the pandemic, and where you're like, hey, why don't you get up and take a shower? You know what? I know you don't want to take a shower, but if you got up and put some soap and water on your body, it's gonna make you feel good. If you look good, you feel good, and that's what's important. And that's I think who you are. I think you're a good person, and I really appreciate talking to you. I hope you had fun today. Did you have fun?
Yes, I had tons of fun, dude. Thank you so much, man.
We'll definitely talk to you very soon. And then, like I said, I'm so excited. Let's end with this. Tell me one of your quieter memories at camp. If you could go back and Groundhog Day, this night, this day, one day that really stuck in your head, where it wasn't like the best night ever, but you're like, wow, if I could time travel right now, this would be a very relivable, wonderful moment in my life, my 10 years of being a camp counselor. I would love to relive this moment, and that's how we'll end the podcast.
All right. I don't usually. It's a very small thing. So as a unit director, if you're a promoted person at the camp, again, you get those perks, right? One of my perks is that if there's a camper's birthday in my division, so I had a 5th grade division, so it was my job to get the birthday cake out of the kitchen, and I was really hungry, David. I didn't eat the dinner because I didn't like it, and my obsession with cake, it was a really high obsession back then, but it's calmed down now, and I made a decision, David. There was 2 baking sheet pans of cake. So it's like those big sheet cakes that you can, and I was just thinking, man, this kid needs 2 pans. I don't think he needs 2 pans. I'm here in this kitchen. I can take one. And I did, David. I made a decision that I ran out of the kitchen with the big pan. I was the only one in the kitchen while everyone was listening to the announcements. There was a bridge right across from the lake. Actually, the dining hall is right by the corner of the lake. And then you go across this bridge, you get to the adventure section. That's where people do the boating and the adventure part of the section of the camp. So there was a regular canoe, and all I had to do was just get a crate. I put the cake on top of the crate. I put it under the canoe, David. And I was leaving, and then I came back, and I took a corner of the cake, and I'm eating it, and I'm laughing, and I'm walking across the bridge. I was just like, this is the life. This is... I can do what I want.
That is a wonderful way. I don't know if you don't start a podcast either called Adventure Cake or Canoe Cake, then if you don't even have merch that says like Jaren George Adventure Cake, I don't think that you are missing an opportunity to make some money on that one like that. But that is a wonderful memory.
But last thing though, I realized I learned something from that because I did not have to do it. I realized I had everything that I always wanted. Again, I felt fulfilled with the job and stuff like that, and I realized I could force myself to get cake anytime I want. But guess what, David? I went back. They did not finish the whole sheet of cake of the other pan of the cake, because guess what, David? They have small stomachs. They can't finish the cake. I should have realized that. So I went to all that trouble for nothing. But you know what? I go back there and feast on that cake under that canoe every night. So that was good.
That's you in a nutshell. Just you feel you were looking out for the kids and you didn't even know it. You didn't even know you knew about their small stomachs. You didn't even know it. This has been a wonderful talk, Jaren. And
thank you.
And I want to say that please follow Jaren. And until part 2 comes out, have a wonderful, wonderful time, Jaren.
All right. Thank you.
We'll talk to you again real soon.
All right. Later, buddy. Appreciate it.